Hi, welcome to All Hands on Deck signing. My name is Katie and welcome to my kitchen. When we bake bread, there's a few things you have to do first to prepare. The important thing if you're using a yeast bread recipe is you need to prepare the yeast. It's not ready out of the bag or the box. It needs to activate or start. This is what it looks like when it's dry. That means it's not wet, it's not ready to work hard to make beautiful bread. It's still in its dormant state, like sleeping, waiting for something to happen to start it, to activate the magic or science. So, if you want to activate it, there's a few things you have to do and a few things you need to be able to do those things, right? So, 4 things. The first, you need a bowl. You need water. You need sugar and yeast itself. Now, if you have all those things, it's important to remember to follow directions and mix them in the right order. If you forget, it might not give you the best results you're looking for or hoping for. First, you add the water. You want about 1 cup of water. Looks like I have a little bit too much. That's okay, it's an easy fix. If you look from the same level, it's easier to see if you added too much or if there's not enough. It looks pretty good. Second, or next, we need to add the sugar. I will be using my spoon to add a little bit of sugar. We don't need a lot, but you need enough for the yeast to eat. It's like food for the yeast to get it started. Now, you need to stir the sugar until it looks like there's no more sugar in the bowl. Now, there really is still sugar. It didn't disappear, but it'll look like it did because it dissolved. 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 See, the water is clear again. Before, it was a little cloudy. You couldn't see through it. Well, not easily. An important thing to note or to remember is the water temperature. Now, this is very important for yeast because if your water is too hot, it kills the yeast before it can start. If the water is too cold, then the yeast will not have the motivation to activate. So the best temperature for water for this activity is using room temperature water. So get some water, leave it on the counter for a little bit, and it'll be perfect. The last thing you need to do to activate the yeast is, well, add the yeast. So the fourth thing in our process is adding the yeast itself. So I have a lot of yeast in here, but we only need 2¼ teaspoons of yeast. Now, you can measure that exact, or if you use 2 big teaspoons or heaping teaspoons, it's about the same. It's up to you. These are my measuring spoons. If you look, it has the label of what it is. So this is the measurement of 1 teaspoon. Notice it's heaping, it's not straight across. That's what gives us the needed added little bit, like 1/4 teaspoon. Now you could leave it like that. But if you do that, then not all of the yeast has a fair chance to get the food, to get the water, to really activate and grow. So to give the yeast that opportunity, we will stir it up. Don't go fast. You need to be calm and slow when you stir the yeast. It is fragile, or that means that you need to be careful with it. Too fast and it doesn't like that. So slow is best. When you look at the yeast when it's in the process of activating, it looks cool. The yeast itself is growing. It looks like bubbles. It's very fascinating to watch, but now it's time for the yeast to do its job. So I'm gonna leave it here for a few minutes so it has time to work and eat the sugar and get ready for the hard work soon of baking the bread. Hey, so I gave the yeast about 5 minutes to activate. And if you notice, it looks like bubbles have like risen. Come take a look. And the water is not clear. It's very cloudy and darker now. how you know it's ready to start the next step in your directions for making bread.